Thanks for staying tuned. You're still watching iBrandTV, and the discussion definitely continues as the controversy regards the executive and judiciary regards defections is getting more intriguing by the day. Remember, just about 2 to 3 weeks ago, you had the governor of Ebonyi State being sacked from office as a result of defection that took place over a year ago. And now the latest is about 20 Cross River lawmakers also been told to vacate their seats. And Charles Idel is still here. We're still talking about this, among other things, and how it correlates with, issues of party ideologies and the ability to strengthen our democracy. When you have strong political parties and strong oppositions, your democratic institutions are definitely strengthened. So, Frank, you're about to ask.
Yes, I was going to ask, a follow-up question. I want to believe that this is not too difficult for us to achieve in terms of creating a party that has a strong structure, value system, and you talk about ideology as well. But we have to start from somewhere. So I was going to ask that even though, yes, these people that you mentioned earlier, people like Paolo and the rest, they did their best. But then we are now at this point. So there's, at least we should track why we failed to this point. Why did we fail? Okay. What did we do wrong? Okay. And so some people have suggested, I think it's time to go back to maybe to develop a two-party system. So what would be your views or your thoughts on that? Because some people have thrown up their conversations in time past in different forums. Okay, we need to look at two-party system to avoid these cross-carpeting and then people without value and ideology just joining our party, like what you have today.
I personally would not subscribe to the idea of building a two-party structure. Not even in are we still in nascent democracy? I don't know. After 21 years in nascent, maybe. In a nascent democracy like ours, a two-party system structure may not help because, in the end, because of personal aggrandizement and all that, you may find this wind shifting everybody towards one party, and then we become a one-party state. And that one-party state, in most cases, will build tyranny, and tyranny will not work in a black nation, where one man will become the be-all and end-all of everybody. We almost have. I mean, Buhari still says in Abuja he summons any governor and he run over there. Meanwhile, governors are supposed to be even also enjoy that kind of independence. You understand? Yesterday where they said it was a wrong word by saying someone governor of Imo State. He only invited whatever nomenclature. But you see, I think multi-party system has a way of building every democracy. Yes. The one I mentioned in no distant past, I just mentioned about five-party structure. Right. But we were hasting towards progress, towards the line of progress until the military struck. So another question you also build into is that how did we arrive here? We arrived here because of military intervention. The intervention of the military is what brought us, as if we are prostrate, politically speaking. The reason is that when they came with the unitary system. The command system, where one man sits over there is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces and all that, and the commander. There were in fact, the courts were almost lame duck. Then you had no national assembly where you can have a recourse to go argue. The Supreme Military Council says this, and everybody fights behind them. Right. So when they were living, they were in the political setup for too long. So when they were handing over in 1999, they hastily did so. All right? They hastily did so because of this Abiola, Wahala, and that. They wanted to pacify the people. They also wanted to pacify the people of the Southwest. So they hastily left the scene. But they only left the scene. It was only the khaki that left. The military didn't leave. So that's why you see how the retention of the military's type of command system, a unitary system. You understand? Yes. That today, what you have is everybody run to Abuja. Once it's month end, they say, okay, all in the name of federal allocation, everybody runs to Abuja. So it brought about laziness, where state will have to look inward. Yesterday, I was somewhere, when we were talking about we call it about restructuring. I said, Abacha, no matter how much you vilify that man, the one thing that the man did that people are not even looking at, Abacha restructured Nigeria before he died. They say, how? I said, good. Now you have a six region structure in Nigeria today. Now, those regions were not supposed to be political political regions. They were supposed to be economic regions. In the South, you have Brace State. The Brace State, I don't know if anybody has had a Brace State before. The Brace State Union of the South, that's 6 states. Brace State is an acronym for B for Bayelsa, R for Rivers, A for Akwa Ibom, C for Cross River, E for Edo, and D for Delta. That's the Brace State. All they wanted is that all these states that were all economically contiguous, they are all culturally affined and all that, linguistically and all that. They were supposed to come together. They have similarity of culture, similarity of thinking, similarity of everything. You come together, you find anything, or maybe it's cassava, you bring them together, and so that you can be self-sustaining. Now, you come to the South where you have what they call Dawn Commission, DAWN, is an acronym for the Development Agenda for Western Nigeria. All the 6 states in the South were also supposed to come together to be economically powerful and independent of others. That's why you had Lagos State going all the way with a long handshake over to Kebbi to do Lake Rise. So Abacha wanted states, all either 6 states, whether 7 states, whether 4 states, they all congregate together economically and become powerful, so that there will be no recourse to have this idea of everybody going to Abuja every time. Yeah, what they call it, the something allocation will also come. But allocation. That one, just like Lagos hardly relies on that. That was what Abacha wanted to do. But when politicians came, because of their selfish interest, they turned it to geopolitical. It's now political. And it's about power sharing.
You know why?
About who is going to be chairman or so. And that's what we're looking at.
Just quickly, Mr. Charles. Yes. You know why why I ask that question? Because as it is now, you have the ruling party, the APC, and then you have the PDP. It's almost like you're having two party at the moment,
but don't decree to
in principle, really, in principle. But because you either have these someone moving from PDP to APC or someone moving from APC. So when you have a ruling party, people are decamping from the other party to the other. So in the last 21 years of democratic government in Nigeria, it has always been either APC or PDP. So that's why I asked that question. But of course, if we have something, of course, restructure the political system, and we talk about the issue of electoral bill and all of that, I think that's where a lot of people are looking at that. If we bring these and we restructure these, perhaps we'll be able to avoid some of the things we're witnessing, that there's no ideology, there's no value system in the party.
But I think I still have to retain my earlier stand. In the US, you have two dominant parties. But not two-party system.
There's several parties.
In UK, you have they have Tory, and we have Labour and Conservative. But they have other. You have Green Party. They have Green Party.
Green Party.
No, I think in the US they have Green Party.
Green Party.
But these parties are the ones who just win local government, just like local government system. They may not be in the center. At the center, I mean. So over time, when you say you throw the thing open, over time, people begin to throw their mind around, and it become it happens everywhere. There's no country in the whole world where you have 5 parties always there visible. It's always either 2 or 3, always 2 or 3. So you don't decree a two-party system into existence. It doesn't happen in democracy.
Okay, just as we wrap up this discussion in about 30 seconds, how do we bring about ideologies back into our political parties, so that our democratic institutions are strong, and more importantly, we won't have defections here and there? The reason for that is when the enigma, as is known, and Babangida was leaving, you had the creation of the SDP, Social Democratic NRC, Party, and NRC. But in the real sense, you could sense the ideology behind it, one being a democratic and a Republican, in the sense of principle, in the sense of the US, the way it is, socialism, capitalism, and all of that. So how do we bring back ideologies into our political parties in 30 seconds?
Ideology for us is that it's the people that will champion that. You, myself, Frank, and everybody. When we insist on this is what we want. We are in Lagos, we're in Southwest, we want this. People who represent us will now begin to insist on what the Southwest wants. We are building ideology. People in so once people now begin to come together, okay, this is what our people want. So what the people want to begin to form ideology. You understand what I'm saying? That's exactly how it has to be. But for now, it might be difficult, pretty difficult. I don't know, maybe in 10 years' time, it might change, 20 years' time, but not immediately, because of the personal interest of the average Nigerian politician. Everything about our politics is about power. It's about It's about contestation for power. It's about contestation for interest. And while you have all these two looming large over everybody, there's going to be almost impossible for a window for us to bring in differences in Nigeria. It's going to be different because when people are beginning to look at, like now, looking at APC, 4 days to a convention, they still have not been able to set up. Why? Because of power. Who takes or who takes what? That's the problem we have. Part of it.
Okay. What a discussion that has been. Charles Dale, thanks for joining the show. Thanks for coming around.
Thank you.
And the discussion definitely continues. Thanks to Charles, who has made this possible as well. We'll go on a very short break. When we return, there's still more on the show. Please do stay tuned.